What's up,
Giggs. G-I-G-G-S. No. Rhodri.
Is there anything that Lionel Messi is better than you at?
It's opinions. I respect your opinions. Maybe in your opinion Messi is better than me, but in my mind I'm better than him.
I do it again.
Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Told her if it's all me, everything is on me. Gon' back it up. Matter what? Told you I'ma do me. Why you hating on me? It's not adding up. I do roll like a Mack truck. Country heart, I'ma cop a farm and go act up. Like scars, I was cold-hearted, now I'm back up. Keep it real, I do this once a month. I don't rap much. I just hit the money and go stack up. Only buy Carhartt cards and get tatted up. All that other bull, it don't matter much. You only climb me, I put the ladders up. No fault, I done doubled up on the workload. I think I fell in love with the bankroll. Pray up, get money, then we lay low. Add it up, bankroll, euro, peso, add it up. I'm just doing me, everything is on me. Oh, you matter what? Add it up,
Hey guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of Rhodri Giggs on football. This is episode number 24. We are live on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter. Ace Podcast Nation, as you know by now, home to many great shows and series featuring top guests, expert analysts and more. So please do give us a follow on social media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Click the bell so you do not miss a thing, including our exclusive interview with Commonwealth champion and British title contender, the Merthyr Mexican, Mr. Gavin Gwynn, which drops tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. You do not want to miss that one. If you prefer your podcast in audio form, then, of course, you could check out this series and all the other content that we do, including said interview, on the Sports Social Podcast Network. Just as we wait for a few of the late stragglers, little update on the charity Super Six as we're supporting Maggies Centres and Mind Mental Health charity. We've had 2 rounds since the last update. Unfortunately for me, Rhodri had a storming round at the weekend. He scored an impressive 18 points on Saturday. Tuesday's champion was Jason Payne on 16, while Mr. Andy Campbell had 14 coming, seeing him top of the celebrity players for the second round of the week. But after those rounds, regular viewer Owain Jones is up to second place, and my lead over Rhodri is down to just 16. The next round is 3 o'clock Saturday, so get your predictions in. Squeaky bum time, the pressure's on, and I'm delighted to welcome tonight former Salford City winger, Mr. Rhodri Giggs. How are you, mate?
Yeah, so just as I'm all set up and it all goes pear-shaped, just before, like 2 minutes before I'm going to come on.
Just what happened? Just when none of it was working.
What?
None of it was working, was it?
Nah, it's just going to, I don't know what's happened. Never happened before. I don't know what's happened, but...
It's always the same, mate. I said to you every week, didn't I?
I can hardly hear as well, because this phone that I'm using, it's got water in it.
I'll speak. I'll see if I can turn it.
Actually, 1 minute. Let me turn it round.
It's all good, mate. So I see. Just while you're doing that, I'll talk to the people. I know it's Rangers have an unbelievable little game versus Borussia Dortmund in that first leg away at Dortmund, and they're 4-2 up. That is unbelievable. There you are. You sounded a bit louder then.
No, I can't. I can hear you.
Can't hear me at all, can you? There we go. It's the joys of technology. Welcome, Gaz, Rob, Lorna, Donna, Chris, Craig, GD Parry. Good to see you all. So, Rob Boyle made his debut last night on the Patreon show. For all you Patreons, Rob joined us, did a fantastic job, joined me for a chat. We talked about football. We talked about all sorts of things. It was a good crack. We talked about some serious stuff as well, weirdly. How's that, mate? Can you hear me now? Loud and clear?
Yeah.
Sweet. I was just saying, Rangers, mate, 4-2 up away at Dortmund in that.
I left it at half time. It was 2-0 up, so that's a good result. But I didn't
4 away
realise
goals,
did that
mate.
away goal go.
Oh, they got rid of it, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gutting, isn't it? Go and score 4 away goals and then don't count. It must have been this season then that they got rid of that, I think, because I know they were talking about it, so they must have got rid of that. But still, a good result. Yeah, I still would expect Dortmund to have enough in the second leg because they're only 2 behind, aren't they? But you never know. Rangers, difficult place to go, isn't it? It's quite fierce.
No, you never know. Full Ibrox crowd.
The thing is, I think any professional football team should fancy themselves to win a one-off game with a 2-goal head start, is the way I look at it. At home, in front of your fans, if any team gives you a 2-goal head start, you should fancy yourself to defend that, shouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Like when you break it down into the simplistic kind of thing of it, I know that there's all sorts of things that come into it.
It's all right saying it, but once the team scores and they get on a roll and just you never know.
It could be anything, kind of injuries, sending off. There's all sorts of
sent
things.
Off, yeah, it could be anything.
So lots to talk about as always from the world of football. We'll start with United this week for you, mate. How do you feel the sort of last week or so has gone for United? Picked up a victory, but what was it, a draw and a victory? Or a loss and a victory? I forget now.
Say that again. You cut out the last bit.
How do you think United have done in the week? I think they won on Tuesday, didn't they, against Brighton? And did they draw on Saturday or did they lose? Drew, didn't they? Yeah, they drew 1-1, didn't they? Oh no! I tell a lie. They beat. I'm getting confused with the fixtures. What did United do on Saturday or Sunday? Mate, my computer's frozen, so I don't know. I can't get the result.
Right, listen, mate. I've got on. I've sorted my computer. I'm just gonna switch over.
Yeah, all right, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. So, guys, get your questions in. Obviously, the last 15 minutes of the show, we do a free-for-all questions. I apologise. My computer screen froze over here, which has my results on, so I was unable to bring them up. Facebook comments. Yeah, I don't know what's been going on with the Facebook recently. My advice: go on YouTube. That is better for me anyway. If everyone watched on YouTube, that's always better for me because YouTube pay me pennies for views. Facebook doesn't. Here he is. Right.
That's better.
There we go. So the question was, mate, how do you think United's week went? So they beat Brighton 2-0 and they drew with Southampton on the weekend. Any improvement?
So say again, they drew with
Southampton on Saturday, and then they beat Brighton.
Well, Southampton, it's the same as what we've been seeing, isn't it? It's battering them first half, very good, and then second half they just drop and teams come into it. It's very, very, very worrying when when their coach is saying, we know that the gears aren't as quick going backwards and they tire. Yeah, that's
a problem. It's a worry, I suppose.
That would hurt me if I was a player. That would hurt me because it's your job. It's your job.
Yeah,
basically telling me you shit at your job or you can't last at your job.
Some of the chances that United have missed in this last 2 or 3 weeks is unreal, mate. Some couple of the ones which Bruno Fernandes missed. I know he scored against Brighton, so hopefully from your point of view, that will kind of see him right and he'll get a bit of confidence. But he missed a couple of almost open goals, which is it's one of those where you're almost already celebrating, and he just was having a nightmare. But they have created chances, so I do think that if they can kind of start taking those chances, I wouldn't be surprised to see them blow a few teams away, because I don't think, particularly in the first 40 minutes or so, they've actually been playing all right. It's the second half. They just seem to completely go to pieces.
game's 90 minutes. Like, oh, that's been.
Yes, well, you know me, mate. My prediction.
It's no excuse. It's no excuse. If you're playing badly, the only thing or things aren't going your way, the only thing you can do is work through it and work harder. That's visibly not happening because the opposition managers identifying it and letting everyone know. He's doing Ralph Rangnick's right favour because he's basically outing the players. So no matter what manager you've got in there, if the players are not doing the job and putting the effort in, you've got no chance. And on top of that, you know, they're just not getting the look. They're getting in the opportunities, they're getting in right areas, but just not scoring. And you know, would he have got the ball? Would he have got the ball? I think he would have got the ball and made the defender make a decision. So, you know, in that, would it be a goal-scoring opportunity? Well, yeah, he's in the box. So
he was through, wasn't he?
Yeah. So you know that Alanga, he catches pigeons. He's very, very quick. I know they slow it down, but at real pace, I just believe he gets it. So, and I don't think he needed to do that.
No, he didn't really. Didn't need to put him down.
We've seen with United's history in the past, you know, if they go 1-0 down, you're still in the game. So
yeah,
he just panicked and just made a mistake and he just made that mistake even worse by bringing him down, getting sent off. So it's a good win because Brighton are playing well. And
it is, yeah. And you know,
it's a build-up. And then
the Ronaldo goal, which was, by the way, Ronaldo finished absolute rubbish. His goal's quality, but that comes from them pressing as a team, and the sending off came from them pressing as a team. And I just feel like if they worked like that for 90 minutes, they're going to do a lot better. But there's too many in there who are not doing the work for the full 90 minutes. Who's anyone impressed you in this torrid spell for United? Has anyone come out of it with any credit for you? Like Alanga, I think, has done quite well, haven't he, coming into the team as a youngster?
Yeah. You know, the keeper's done very, very well as well. Done a very good save at Brighton, the header. They could have gone 1-0 up.
Yeah.
So, no. Where are we? 5th or 6th?
Yeah. No
one's done well. Everyone, it needs to be better. Everyone, squad, manager, everyone involved, because 5th or 6th and the amount of games you're drawing against the teams you're drawing against is just unacceptable. It's just unacceptable, especially at Manchester United. You can't go into that mindset of Arsenal were 10 years ago. Well, at least we're going to get 4th. That's bullshit. 4th is just a consolation prize. It's nothing to brag about.
Doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah, we're just in the Champions League. Good. The only thing it's a positive for, it attracts better players. Other than that, please, I don't want to hear it. It's to finish 4th, you know. So it shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, you don't want that mentality that Arsenal had for so many years under Wenger, wasn't it? It was like top 4 was seen as like a trophy.
And the owners would be more than happy to be just finishing 4th every year.
Yeah, it's definitely, mate, it's a problem because, but it is a question then, before we kind of move on a bit, is the United issue as simple as too many players in the squad have got a bad attitude or aren't working hard enough? Is it as simple as that? So like if every player in that squad suddenly starts, you know, working their socks off for 90 minutes plus, will things change straight away? Like, is it that simple, or is there more to it?
No, there's more to it. There's players that have been there for a long time, and yeah, they should know the ethos of the club by now. And just by letting players get away with the shit that they've been getting away with is unacceptable. But you've got to take some of it with a pinch of salt, because all these headlines and all these, yes, there's a little tiny bit of truth to it, but most of them are all bollocks, all divisive. And Manchester United sells newspapers, it gets traction, it gets phone people ringing in more than any other club. That's a fact.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's always been the case. I've always reading something and knowing it's not true and thinking, and this seems to be the case because there's one coming out every day.
Yeah, there's something in it all the time.
Can't always do. Marcus Rashford has come out on Twitter, and if I was Marcus Rashford, I wouldn't entertain it because then you say, well, why didn't you come out for that one, or why didn't you say that one, or why didn't you come out? Oh, that must be true. Just ignore it and just things that are personal, yes, but things that you're gonna get it. It's just reporters, journalists, just ban them from Old Trafford, and you know which ones it has. It's worked in the past. I'm sure it'll work again. But there is problems there, though. There is problems, and it's deep-rooted problems. How the hell can you have Manchester United having an interim coach?
Yeah,
6 months. Even if he's a player, you'd be thinking, you know what? Why me listen to this guy? 6 months, he's going to be gone anyway. It's
it's problematic. Isn't it?
If you're an elite player or a proper manager, you're not going to have that mindset. But you've got these players that some of them have got that mindset. So
yeah, what do you make of this comment? We're a fan.
So
he says, Man United are toxic right now. They're a team of individual talent along with players that don't want to be there. Would you say that's a fair assessment?
I'd say the first bit, yeah. Players that don't want to be there. Who? Which ones don't want to be there?
I mean,
you have to be more specific with that because which ones don't want to be there?
Because they got rid of a few like Martial and players who had outwardly said, "I want to go."
If he comes back and say, "Well, Lingard," if you're telling me Lingard wants to leave Manchester United, you have the laugh. He had umpteen chances in the last 2 years. He wanted to be a Manchester United player, but he's not been given the chance, so he's been given no option.
Yeah,
but that's going to make him unhappy. But still, he's a professional. He's a Manchester United lad who's grown up, so he should be able to get on with it, which I know he probably would be able to. Other players, Pogba, possibly, but still, you see him play, and he's still an influence in the middle of the field. We are a better team with Paul Pogba in the side. There's no doubt about that. You just have got to get the right balance and got to get the right personnel around it. You can't have spaces like we saw on the weekend in the middle of the park. It's just when you're looking at matches of the day and you've got people like, I think it was Jermaine Jennings or Danny Murphy, it was one of the two anyway, and the spaces in the middle of the park is just
unreal.
Scary. It's scary. Mate. No, it's not even schoolboy. It's scary because schoolboy. That's the meaning schoolboys.
Yeah,
it's scary. There's like a 40 by 40 yard gap in the middle of the park when you're attacking. So how are you going to recycle that ball? Who's the player there who's always going to... And he's got 3 midfielders there, and they're all... It's just... Yeah.
Can you believe that since they re-signed Pogba, so he's had a full contract and an extension by the time this season finishes, in that whole time since they re-signed him, they haven't signed a holding midfielder to help him play to his strengths?
Well, not signed for it, no.
Yeah, but he's not necessarily a holding midfielder, is he, by trade?
Yeah, what is he then?
Well, he spoke to it for Brazil. He plays like attacking midfield or box to box or whatever he is. I don't know. He plays for Brazil, doesn't he? Does right.
I like to see the stats for Brazil and his goals because he is. I'd reckon Ray Charles is a better striker than him.
Well, mate, he plays all right for Brazil, though.
He's not. He's terrible.
Yeah, he's terrible. I don't disagree, but he plays for Brazil.
He's very, very mobile. He tries, but he's terrible. He's terrible.
Let's have a look at Brazil stats for Fred. But I
bet he scored 3, 4.
Let's have a look.
Surprised he scored that.
So in the last in the World Cup qualifiers, so 2020 to 2022, 7 matches, 1 assist, 3 yellow cards. In the Copa America, in 2021, he played 6 games, 1 assist, 1 yellow card. 2015. So yeah, he doesn't seem to. He hasn't scored. Don't quite know what he's. I think that's half the problem with him. Is no one quite knows what he is, apart from, as Gavin said, he's pony. Yeah, I'm not saying he's good, by the way. What I'm saying is, since United signed Pogba.
I'm saying he's terrible. I've got to be clear. No, he's still professional football. I've never played.
He tries hard for United, mind, compared to the others.
For the quality at Manchester United, it's unacceptable. And I don't see what these managers keep seeing in him.
Yeah,
he's
terrible.
Terrible.
But yeah, I just find it remarkable.
McTominay hasn't been too great recent weeks. He's on and off. You know, one day he's okay, and the next week he's terrible. It has to be more consistent. Marcus Rashford, not good enough. He needs to be more consistent. He seems to be more of an impact player. I'm sure he doesn't want to hear that or want to see it, but that's what's happening, and that's what his play warrants at the minute. Sancho, he's growing on me. He's growing on me. Still lazy though. Still lazy, and I still don't know why. It took you 3 months to get into it. I'll tell you why it took you 3 months. Because you had a long summer off, a long holiday after not playing in the Euros. Then you had a long holiday and come back overweight, and it took you ages to get back to fitness. So that's poor professionalism. So that's down to him. So that's poor. So that's why he's having poor play, and that's why he's having the poor start. When you go to Manchester United, you think, I want to hit the ground running, and I want to get fit. Instead, he's coming back, Mr. Tubby.
Yeah, look at Ronaldo, mate.
Pardon?
Look at Ronaldo. Came in 37, hit the ground running.
Don't put these players. Don't put these players in that great. In comparing that greatness, the kid is on a different level. He's still on the Sunday turning up for 5 hours training, and these are all doing like an hour and a half, and off they go. This is why he's world class. And people saying, "Oh, Ronaldo, the weaker with Ronaldo." Please. Don't talk bollocks. If we was weak Ronaldo, it'd be 0-0 on Tuesday, and it'd be another draw because no one would have broke that. His goal, even though he'd missed a couple, doesn't get down. Bang, 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 goal.
Yeah.
So there's a few players. Harry Maguire, you know, for 2 years he was brilliant. He was player of the Euros off the team. He had a very good couple of years. Since he's come back from injury in his first game against Leicester about 4 or 5 months ago, he's been terrible. He needs to sort it out. Luke Shaw, not good enough. Dallo, not good enough. Who else? You go throughout the team. Bruno Fernandes is probably the only one that you could probably hang your hat on and say, no, he's going to give you everything. Yes, he's going to give the ball away, but he's a risk taker. That's going to happen.
So to finish off on United, I got one question I want to put to you, and then there's a question in the chat which I'm interested in your response to. So my thing is, right, regardless of what people think of Paul Pogba, if they think he's world class, or if they think he's not good enough, if they think he's overrated, whatever your opinion of him, take that kind of out of it a minute. If you've got Paul Pogba in your squad, to me, you build your midfield around him to get the best out of him. And I will never understand if he does leave in the summer. I think United have kind of wasted the opportunity they've had with him being at the football club because they haven't brought in the right players around him. And I just don't think they've done enough to get the best out of him. Do you think...
What players around him, sir?
Well, for a start, I'd have a decent holding midfielder, so to give him a bit of freedom. Like... The problem, they played him and Fernandes next to each other, didn't they, for a bit last year? And I thought they linked up really well. But every time they lost the ball, which they're going to do at some points because, like you say, they're taking risks, looking for those slide rule passes. Every time they lost the ball, what you were talking about just now, the gaps and the space, because they didn't have a decent holding midfielder. McTominay quite often is a bit too far forward because he's out of position. He doesn't want to hold. And Fred is pony, for lack of a better word.
Paul Pogba and Manchester United see it like as a bad relationship. Okay. But you still stay together. And you know it's going to end up in tears, you know. Or who's the one who's going to cut the cord and say, you know what, it's not working out. You're brilliant at what you do. You're great at what you do, but it's just not working out. Interesting. Bringing in players, blah blah blah. He doesn't have the same effort and input he does as a France player. It's just not there. So, do you prolong that and keep him and try to work around him, and when you already know the animal, or you go, you know what, there's bigger players Paul Pogba left for Man United. Let's wipe our hands with him. Cheers, Paul. See you later. Thanks, and bring someone else in.
I do think it's time to move on.
Yeah.
Right. Last thing on United.
His agent has been sort of taking the piss for years.
Yes.
He let his contract roll down, which is half the club's fault, because why did they let that happen? So, but they're signing people like Phil Jones on and other people on high contracts. Why would you leave your £90 million player to run his contract out? So,
Exactly that.
They're saying they're doing good business at Manchester United. That's not good business.
No, it's not.
The amount of shirt sales, the amount of social media input that he has, it's poor. It's poor throughout.
This is part of the problem with United, mate. Is they looking at the wrong things to what makes a player worth re-signing. The football club seem to be looking at social media followers and impact and things like that off the pitch. Whereas fans are looking at it as like they want the football team to do well. And I think, so last question on United.
But some of these fans, do they though? Well, do they want a nice social media savvy and he can play a bit? Or do they?
Yeah.
I'm questioning that. These fan cams and all these Johnny come latelys who I've been to go Old Trafford since 1990. I'm not seeing half of these people. Half of them. And they're all claiming Man United. Bollocks. They're all just jumping on the bandwagon. So maybe some of them want them to be, to get them on, get to the social media savvy. You see some of them on national TV, getting some of the players on, doing interviews. And players shouldn't be nowhere near that.
No, they shouldn't really.
Nowhere near it. Just concentrate. Just concentrate on your job. Is winning football games. You get distracted. 3 years later, you end up at Everton.
Very quickly. Borough fan says if you
after playing for England and doing well at Tottenham, they don't need to name names. We all know.
No, I know. No, that's it, isn't it?
That happens. Things, I'm not just having to go at Dele Alli. It happens.
Happens everywhere, doesn't it? So Borough fan, last question on United. If you and everyone else can see the shit which is in the team and the players which need to be moved on, why can't the managers spot the same issues? And he also asked, who's your choice for the next manager as well? He said,
it's not as easy as that. You've got people who are on like very, very big contracts. They're not going to want to go, and the teams aren't going to want to back pay that money. So they're just going to play it cool. Yeah, I don't want to leave. Why would I want to leave? But they're playing it cute. Players going to say, "I want to leave." All right, you've got 3 years left, and you're about, "Well, leave. I don't want that." 5 million. No, keep that. I'm off. It doesn't work like that. So I guess players might want to try and get them out. Like Martial. It's a bit. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go here. And the Mason Greenwood comes up, and then all of a sudden Jesse Lingard can't go. So. And that's probably stopped him bringing someone else in, or you just don't know what's happening around that behind the scenes. You just got to take it, but there's always something happening. But 30 players, 25 players, it's always something happening.
Yeah. In one word, then, would you keep Ralph Rangnick at the end of the season?
This is another thing. You're bringing in a coach for interim coach for 6 months. And he's a type of coach that needs time to work on his system, and he's not going to get time. So it's a difficult question. That no.
If you could pick anyone outside of like people like Klopp and Pep and who are settled, if you could pick any manager in the world now today.
I would tell Wayne Rooney, there's your 4-year contract, because he's going to come there and he's going to rattle a few cages if they're above him or below him. He doesn't give a shit. So he's just going to know what's best for Manchester United. So the way he's gone about his business and the way he get it, no, but That's who I would have at the minute. There's no one good enough for Pochettino. Okay, what's he won? What's he done? Got the Champions League. Yeah, but he got beat. Jose Mourinho went to Champions League with Porto and won. That's why he's a special one. He won things. Pochettino hasn't won. So I won't go for him. Bentag.
I do like Ten Hag, I gotta say.
Ten Hag, possibly, because he's won things.
He's built something special at Ajax.
Yeah, so him, but maybe it's a little bit too early for Wayne Rooney, but the way he's going about it, watching that documentary, how he really loves Man United as well, and he'd go in there and rattle a few cages above him and below him, and he'd tell the truth, and the fans would get the truth. So, it's just probably a pipe dream, that. But
is Rooney the closest thing that at the moment they could get to someone like Fergie or Roy Keane, or someone who's not going to take any shit, who's got the respect of the players?
Well, Ryan's missed out on that because obviously what's going on, because he'd have been perfect. But he's going to have to wait. But if he I don't see anyone else who fits the bill. Luis Enrique, no. Brendan Rodgers, after what's happening.
Yeah, he's kind of got himself out of the running, haven't he, with the way Leicester have played?
Yeah, it's a bad run of form that he's having. So, and obviously his stock's dropped a bit. So,
if Ryan hadn't had his legal troubles and whatever, and everything was going well with Wales, and United offered him the job full time, would you think he would leave Wales for United?
What do you think?
Well, I think he would in a heartbeat.
I could guarantee you he would.
Just interesting, right? Let's move on from United, mate.
That's even a question. Everything he's doing is to get back to Manchester United. So that's why he never left. He always wanted to go through the coaching, to go the easy way, which I thought was the easy way. I think the perfect way to go about it is getting some manager experience. It is Steven Gerrard. He's done it at start at 18s at a young level, making decisions as a manager, then stuck up to Rangers and did it the same for 2 or 3 years. Ryan didn't do that. He was assistant coach. He's not making the day-to-day decisions. He's just passing it on to someone else, giving his opinion, and that hurt him, I think. Just 3-4 years, especially when they didn't do very well. And so, you'd want to be in charge of your own destiny instead of someone else's. That's why I think Steven Gerrard went the right way about it. His pathway, I thought, is the right way. Look at John Terry now; he can't get a job because he's a coach. No one
wants to take that risk today that he's not going to have the same impact.
Lampard didn't do very, very well at Derby, but did okay. Got the Chelsea job. Did okay at Chelsea. Got sacked. Now he's got the Everton job. So I think if you made decisions and you got experience in managing, then. But if you haven't, and it's a lot more difficult. That's why when he took the Wales job, he's making the decisions now. Yes, it's on a part-time level, but them decisions were good, and they made progress, very good progress. Because if he didn't blood them youngsters in, they had no chance. No disrespect to people like Joe Ledley and stuff like that, but they just weren't good enough, and he had to blood all these young players in. And I don't want to mark out people like Joe Ledley, but what type of that type of ilk of player,
I know what you mean,
that age bracket. So yes, he kept Joe about and some others, but he needed that experience to blood them in, and they were probably grievous to do that, but because they love the country, they did it. So it's definitely would have been in the running. Definitely.
You say about the pathway. Mark Hughes did a similar pathway, didn't he? He went to be the Wales manager and then went into club management after doing all right with Wales. So I think
he would have been a Manchester United manager if he didn't go to Manchester City. Why the hell would you upset?
Well, you could argue he was the start of their improvement. Right. Especially for Gav, mate. I want to have a little look at Liverpool, mate, over the last they're doing very, very well. Jota's impressed me, I've got to say. I wasn't 100% sure like how he would do when he come in. Obviously, it's a big jump from Wolves to Liverpool. However, he's done very well at international level, haven't he? And while Salah was away, he kept them going. Liverpool, and I think, if it wasn't for the fact that City are as good as they are, Liverpool would probably be comfortably winning, on their way to winning the league. How long do you think Klopp stays at Liverpool? I'm genuinely interested by that, because I saw someone saying that they reckon he'll be gone within 2 years. Just because he will move on.
Safe to say that. What else is there for him to do there? If he wins another league, possibly another domestic cup, or even a Champions League, what else has he got to do there? He might want a fresh, go somewhere fresh. Real Madrid, anywhere. He
German job, mate. I would be surprised.
Yeah, Bayern Munich. Go back to Bayern Munich. The Germany job would be perfect for him, to be honest. But if he didn't want to do that day-to-day stuff, but because some people just love it doing the day-to-day. But
it's mad the City are like 11 points or 9 points, I think it is, ahead of Liverpool. Like, if it wasn't for that City team being as good as they are, Liverpool would be cruising this league, because I think they're so much better than the majority of the teams. I rate Klopp. I think is a phenomenal manager. I just wonder, like you touched on there, what more has he got to do at Liverpool other than winning another league title? I don't know. At some point, he's going to have a decision to make whether he's going to stay there for the rest of his career, or he's going to look for a German job, or the German job, or he wants to go elsewhere. And Gerrard being in the Premier League, I think, almost puts a little cat amongst the pigeons, because if Gerrard continues to do well at Villa, it won't be long before Scousers and Liverpool fans and media are linking in with
Gerrard's always going to be there. Gerrard's always going to be there. They're not going to rush Jurgen Klopp out for what he's done.
No, I don't mean that. I just mean
Liverpool is the type of club that you would spend the rest of your career there, because the nice. We have jokes about Liverpool, but it is a nice place down there. Yeah, down near the water, and the good people, Liverpudlian people. They love the football and they love Jurgen Klopp. So you could see it. I don't think it will happen, to be honest. I think he's the type of person that I need to go somewhere fresh. I think he did a really good job at Dortmund. He was umming and ahhing to leave there a few times, but ended up leaving. I think it would be the same again with Liverpool when they have a little dip, or a Mo Salah or a Sadio Mane, he's not there and they're struggling. That might be his time to bow out. Or I would like to see him bow out in his own terms, and not I don't think I think
he deserves that.
I don't think he's earned the sack, whatever happens. So he's earned that right to leave in his own terms. So. Which has got to be good for a manager.
I absolutely agree with you 100%. Yeah, I think Klopp has earned the right to go out on his own terms. However, if Liverpool at the start of next year lose, they have barely won a game by sort of Christmas time, he'll get sacked. It's just the way football is. They will not stick with him if he loses. There's a point at every football club where
yes.
I don't think they'd get to that point.
Yes, the Liverpudlian people would accept that, because they've got Steven Gerrard waiting in the wings.
And that's kind of where I was going with it. That's the only way I could see him being sacked for Gerrard. Otherwise, I think he
won't be happy with it. He won't be happy with it, because I don't think that would happen, to be honest. But it could happen. But I don't think it happen. But yeah, if that was the way it went, it'd be because a person like Steven Gerrard's waiting in the wings.
Spot on, mate. Let's talk about the mighty Bluebirds, because they've had a good couple of weeks. I think when we signed that boy from Man City, Doyle. You sent me like a voice note of someone you knew who was a City fan, just talking about him. Said he's going to do some special things, and they were so far, mate. It's been spot on. He made from the first game he played. I thought he was excellent. Even some of the other players took a couple of games to get going, but I thought from the absolute go, he was quality, and he has been the catalyst for me to Cardiff kind of up in their game and really kind of getting themselves to a point now where a couple more wins and they're pretty safe. They're relatively safe anyway now. Whereas a few weeks back, at the start of January, when that window opened, and I was thinking, who the hell are they going to sign because they got no money? We looked like we were really in the relegation battle, and now we look pretty comfortable. Of course, that can change quickly, but Doyle has been superb. A player who wasn't superb was 22-year-old Max Waters. So if you remember, Rod, about probably 2 or 3 months ago, we talked about Steve Morrison took off Isaac Davis after he'd come on as a sub, and we discussed about is that how you should be treating a young player, etc., etc. Danny Gabda wasn't too happy, but then the next 2 games,
he knew the player though, didn't he? He'd coached the player before.
Yes, he'd coached him at under 23s, and then the next 2 games he banged in a few goals. So on Tuesday, Max Waters was replaced after 37 minutes because, in a manager's words, he was not good enough. The bits I saw, he wasn't working very hard. I think he missed a chance and he wasn't being great. Is it harsh though to not wait that 5 minutes to half time?
Who was this?
Max Waters. He's 22. He's not a young player, but he's not.
I've done this before.
Well, take someone off.
I've done it before, and
what's the thinking? Not waiting.
When I was at Salford City, and the chairman said to me after the game, "Why didn't you wait till half time?" So my answer was to him, "Do you want to manage the team, or you can let me do it?"
Yeah.
But
what do you think Steve Martin
why wait? Why wait 6 minutes? If he's not doing the information that you told him 45 minutes ago, 50 minutes ago, why am I waiting?
Yeah, I completely see the logic. And one of my favorite Mourinho moments is, of all, you've got all these different moments from Mourinho's career, haven't you? But one of my favorite moments is, I think it was against Spurs. He substituted someone after 20 minutes, and it wasn't because they were necessarily playing badly. It was because he noticed something tactically, and he didn't have the right players to change the shape. So he changed the shape by bringing on a sub after 20 minutes, kind of accepting that he'd got his starting lineup wrong. And instead of waiting until half time, like every other manager does, he said, "No, I need to make a change, so I'm making it." And I admire that. And I kind of...
Yeah, you have team talks and you say, if you're not working or I see something, I won't wait till half time. You're just saying, I'm not saying that for the fun of it. I'm saying it because I mean it.
Yeah.
So, and once you do it, then the players are like, "Oh, right, he does fucking mean it." So if you say it and you actually do it, then that'll, jolt the players as well. "Oh, I'm not putting it." You're not putting it in, and you tell them, you're coming off. Doesn't matter if it's 20 minutes, 50 minutes, 80 minutes. You put it in until you can't work anymore, and then put your hand up and we'll bring someone else on. But don't be walking about or jogging about, because you'll be sat next to me, no problem.
Yeah, and I think it does send a message, doesn't it, to the rest of the squad. If you're not good enough, the manager's going to take you off. Yeah. And I think that's a good thing, especially when you've got a pretty young squad now. You've also got some loan players in there who aren't at the club permanently. So you've got a strong kind of things to all the squad. If you ain't good enough, you're coming off. The matter whether there's 10 minutes gone or 80. GD Parry says Morrison.
That's why Morrison's on the sidelines and Danny Gabardon's in the studio.
You could say that, mate. I think that's fair.
Sorry, I like Danny Gabardon, but this turn he's wrong. He knows.
Yeah,
the
I think,
player.
to be honest
He
with
knew
you,
the
I
player.
think it
He
was.
knew how he'd react. If he didn't think the player would have been able to keep it, he wouldn't have done it. You know,
Yeah.
it's not knitting. It's not knitting lessons. It's football. It's a man's game. So if
Yeah,
you're
I
not
think with
doing your
Gabs, though,
job,
mate, I think he took it personally because he mentors Isaac Davis. So I think there was a
I
bit of emotion in
understand
it.
that, but he needs to be more professional in his job.
Yeah, he did say it publicly, didn't he? So at the end of the day, once you say it publicly, it's there for people to analyze and speak about and whatnot. And
Yeah, in the light or cold of day, he's wrong. The guy's reacted for him. He's not gone in his show. He's come out. He's scored a couple of goals, and he's in the team.
Probably going to be in the Wales squad now, mate. Isaac Davis.
I'd react the same way. No way are you doing that to me again.
Yeah. And he's gone on and he's been excellent.
He took me off. I should be taken off. No.
I'm sure there's a few players who would have reacted like that.
That's not happened to me again.
Yeah, he's had a great attitude, Isaac Davis, really good, and I've been impressed with it. And in fairness, Morrison's done that twice now, and we'll see now if it worked on the night in terms of Cardiff got the win. It's up to Max Waters to do what Isaac Davis did: get his head down, work harder, and come back better. Like Gigi Parry says there, Morrison gave Waters a chance to start and prove himself, and he didn't. It didn't work, so it was like having 10 men. So,
But it also proves that the manager, even if he does give you a chance, he does take you off, he'll still, he'll still give you another chance as long as you're putting the effort in.
Yeah, 100%. I've been so impressed.
It always helps when you win as well. So
yeah, of course. Like Reece says there, it's one of those where because Cardiff won, it's justified in it and everyone's on board. If Cardiff had lost, then maybe people would.
Winning solves a lot of problems.
Of course, yeah. But Cardiff, nice and safe, mate, in the Championship at the moment. Hopefully that remains the case.
I went against them on the Super 6 dinner, so.
Reading are hurtling towards relegation. Peterborough the same. Barnsley
Did they draw last night? Did they draw last night?
Reading, I think. No, they didn't. They they did. Sorry, they drew. They drew with Peterborough. What am I on about?
Oh, yeah.
I was looking at the wrong week. I mean, that's a great result, isn't it, for Derby, for Cardiff, that those two drew, because Derby sit there. Derby just need a couple more wins, I think.
Last week.
Really put them under pressure.
Derby are going to be 10 points from safety.
Yeah, it doesn't look as good for Derby points-wise as it did a couple of weeks ago, but it changes so quick, mate. Like
15 games left.
The Championship just is mental. Like, it changes by the week.
Problem is, mate, Peterborough, Reading and Barnsley are not winning at all. Derby are picking up points. They're not winning at all. When was the last time any of them picked up a point? Every time I see Barnsley, Peterborough and Reading, they're getting drilled. And then Derby will get an odd win. They'll win and then they'll get beat, but then they'll have to win or they'll draw. That's points picking them up, and they're not getting any. That's why my thought process is, there's 15, 16 games left. They're going to at least win another 5 at them 15. And that 5 games is 15 points. These aren't winning any.
Yeah, like Derby got absolutely spanked by Middlesbrough on Saturday, and Middlesbrough I saw the highlights of that. Middlesbrough were pretty good. I tell you, it was impressed me against United.
That's going to happen to them, because they've got a small squad. They're putting in real effort. And every now and again, they're just going to not have the legs, and teams going to steamroll them.
So Craig says there, Derby will be all right because they're coming out of administration next week, which means they can sign out contract players. So I'd be very interested. I will Google it now and see if there's any, there's bound to be some out of contract footballers who are worth a couple of, 15 games. Can they give you something to get a contract for next year? So I think, and Wayne Rooney will know that, there's got to be,
they'll always be already identifying them.
Of course.
They'll all do it, speaking to him, if this happens, boom, straight in. They won't be doing it after the fact. They'll be, if they're smart and they're clever, I'm assuming they are, they'll be identifying players who are ready to go.
Yeah, they should be. I tell you, Duncan Watmore of Middlesbrough, He made a substitution appearance against Derby. I've been really impressed with him. I thought he was good against United as well, including that wonderful handball. But I think, who did he used to play for? Was it Sunderland? Duncan Watmore. Where did he come from?
Yeah.
Sunderland, wasn't it?
Sunderland, then he was at Altrincham. He used to be at Altrincham.
Because he came through a Premier League academy, didn't he? He was at, I'm sure it was Sunderland. I'll have to have a look. But Jack Wilshere, there you go. Free transfer for 15 games. If he's fit, would you take him? If you're Wayne Rooney, you could say to him, show me what you can do for 15 games.
Yes, you could bring him, but he's not going to start straight away. He needs to get fit. It's this championship. It's no joke.
Lee Tomlin, another one.
You need people who are championship ready. Know the league, because it's relentless. It is relentless. So
those 15 games come quick, don't they?
You just need players that are going to give players a rest and not put in massive effort Tuesday, Saturday, because they just can't do it. So they need players that come in after 60, 70 minutes and give the first team players a rest and just see out games. So it's
the problem is, I think
everyone worries about Derby County now. I really don't.
So my worries with both those two players that I mentioned there, Jack Wilshere and Lee Tomlin, is even if they are 100% fit and football, ready, they can't give you Monday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday. So are they worth? That's when it's up to the manager, I suppose, to try and work out if it's worth bringing them in for one game a week, or whether they need someone who can be there twice a week. So I don't know how up to date this list of players is. This is a list of players who are supposedly got no contract at the moment from the non-league, lower leagues, football leagues. You got Ross McCormack, obviously ex-Cardiff, been around a bit. Would score a couple of goals if he's fit. Although the last time I saw him play was well unfit. Max Clayton, James Rowe. These are like League One stroke Championship players they've done it. And I think if Wayne Rooney is able to bring in those free transfers, there will be some about. He's just gonna, like you say, he will have done his homework. And as soon as they're able to strengthen that squad, they will, because they simply haven't got a big enough squad, have they? I've talked about how small Cardiff squad is. Derby's even smaller. So, and they've got so many young youth players in there. If he, do you know what though, mate? Right? If Rooney could use his exceptional contacts, there's some big players who've got no football club, like too good for the Championship players. But if Rooney could use some of his pull maybe to get him in for 15 games, Diego Costa, mate, get him in.
Like I say, they'll be identifying him now, and the quicker the better, because I still think, like I say, I think they'll be fine. I think they've done the hard work, they've put the graft in. I think they'll be fine.
Absolutely, mate. Right. What we like for time. So just to sort of round us off, let's have a little wee look.
I know we've talked about it, but at the start, I couldn't really hear you. Have you told the viewers that I got 18 points and you got, 4 or 6 in the week, and I caught you up? And you're under pressure, spitting all kinds of shit on WhatsApp. Do the viewers know that? Pressure's getting
sorry, mate. You broke up there, mate. So you'll have to text me. Sorry.
I won't repeat it. Yeah, all week.
Yeah, it's all I've had is I'm walking around the shops and I'm just getting abused. Disgraceful behaviour. Just because he got a bit excited that he had one good week. One good week, mate, doesn't
just slowly and surely. I can't get it too. I don't want to do it too quickly. I need to, draw it out for the viewers, make it more exciting. It's no point me doing it in March, is it?
I'll be in the money I'll be in the money positions by the end of the season. Told you.
And with a 5-week start. But we'll
Oh,
glaze over that.
you and your 5-week start. It's unbelievable.
Imagine half in the deficit in a week.
Yeah, but I could like you'll forget at least one more week between now and the end of the season, and then I'll make that back.
Got a reminder now.
See. Yeah. Well, in fairness, like at your age, like the memory gets a bit shady, doesn't it? So Reese says Ross McCormack.
My age, yeah. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, still sharp. Still
Still
sharp.
doing 5Ks in 20 minutes. No problem.
Yeah, me too. Reese says Ross McCormack, the man who didn't turn up at Villa training because his gate broke. That was classic. That was absolute classic. That is someone who has got a hangover.
That's how thick he is. Every one of them has got a manual thing that you just.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? Like
he's just an idiot. Isn't he?
He's hungover.
Not an idiot, not an idiot, just not the brightest.
But yeah, he was hungover, so I would imagine that must have been the reason. So come up with a better excuse. Jesus,
a Scottish bloke on goal, that's not. Right.
Come on. Who else we got? What else we got? Right. Let's have a look. Any questions? Get them in before we finish. Let's have a look at the fixtures, mate, for the weekend.
How many more points can we get on you this week? Go on then.
We haven't done that for a couple of weeks. I had a look at the fixtures. So Friday, that is a game.
The right predictions, because I think you're copying my predictions, going over the tape and think right, and that's how you get in. So that's how I mixed it up last week, and then see what happened.
100%, mate. It is a game for you to predict. Oh, but I didn't mention Nottingham Forest, mate. Absolute on fire, and I'm really pleased to see them kind of playing with the spring in their step and the way they're playing, because historically, we all know what Forest did back in the day, and I would love to see them back in the Premier League. I got a load of friends who are Forest fans, and Bugsy, who's been a big supporter of the channel, mate. So
young, exciting central midfielder. Yes. Always a Manchester United player. Never. Never.
Of course he is. He's playing somewhere else.
Yeah.
They're away to Bournemouth on Friday, mate.
Pardon?
Forest are away to Bournemouth on Friday.
Yeah,
what do you see there?
Tough game, but they're playing well. They can't be scared of anyone. But it's a tough game. Bournemouth playing well.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because Bournemouth are good at home as well.
I like Scott Park as well. He's one of me. I like him. I always liked Scott Park as a player and as a coach.
Yeah, he's got a good attitude, hasn't he? Like in terms of his the way he goes about his business. I like the way as well. He seems to be. I like the way he's straight talking, but he's not an arse with it as well.
Very, very matter of fact. Yeah, but correct in what he says or what I'm listening to. So
who would you go with there then? Forest or Bournemouth?
I still go with Bournemouth at home. Big crowd Friday night under the lights. But it won't be easy.
I think I would go with a score draw, maybe a Forest win. Go with a form team, but it's one of them. So then in the Premier League, I'm going to pick a couple of games out. West Ham Newcastle is quite an interesting one. Lunchtime Saturday. I think both teams have been in fairly deep, fairly good form. I wouldn't say they were setting the world alight, but who do you fancy there? West Ham and Newcastle.
West Ham and Newcastle. Is that West Ham?
Yes.
It's Newcastle there, away win.
Interesting, mate, that is. Because West Ham been doing well. Everyone's kind of expecting them to fall away. Haven't quite done it. They haven't quite fallen away yet. Do you think they hold out for a Champions League spot? West Ham?
No.
Well, they're out of them now, aren't they, United? But you think they beat... Who is it? Who's in the top four now? United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City.
No. United in it.
Yeah, United are fourth by 2 points.
As the four as it stays. Although, Arsenal could nick it. Don't think Tottenham not good enough. Arsenal are probably the outside favourites, I reckon.
The reason I kind of fancy Arsenal, or more so Arsenal than Spurs, but Arsenal and Spurs both got 3 games in hand over everyone else. So or over United and who were in 4th. So if they was,
but we have to play them as well. They have to come out. I think they have to come to Old Trafford, or they have to come to United.
I think so. But three games in hand is quite a big. If you win those 3 games, it's a big. You suddenly got a 6-point lead, haven't you? So yeah,
you have to win them games. And if you look at the fixtures, Arsenal haven't really.
They haven't got the greatest of fixtures, have they? What have they got in the next 3?
They haven't been winning games week after week after week. They're not very consistent. If you get that consistency, then it's theirs. But like United, they haven't been consistent. So it's the team that gets consistent at the end of the season. After Easter, the games start coming. You'll probably know clearer picture by Easter.
Arsenal's next 3 games, they're home to Brentford, which is a tough one. Then they're home to Wolves, home to Liverpool, and away to Watford is their next 4.
You'd probably say that they could possibly win 2 there and possibly lose 2.
Yeah, I mean, Brentford beat Arsenal, didn't they, at the start of the season? So you'd like to think that those Arsenal players will have something to prove and go and do a professional job, but you just don't know, do you? But they have been in pretty good form, Arsenal. So Arsenal, Brentford. What are you going for there then? I'm going to go for a Brentford win.
No, I still think Arsenal will win that one.
Okay. And then we'll skip a couple and we'll go Palace, Chelsea at Palace. Palace have been up and down recently.
Chelsea too strong.
And then we got Liverpool, Norwich. This is Liverpool all day,
It's just how many. And do Norwich get one?
Norwich have been pretty good recently. They've scored some really good goals actually, but I just can't see them beating Liverpool.
Anfield, Salah, Mane,
Jota.
No change.
Man City, Spurs. There's a good one.
City 2-0.
Oh, look at that! Look at this. Leeds versus United on Sunday, 2:00.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be a tasty one.
Someone said, "Do you fancy it?" So I rather stick pins in my eyes. That's probably the worst. That's probably the worst place I've ever been to as a United fan.
Didn't fancy
people not even watching the match, just looking at you, going, what?
Constant 90 minutes.
Just looking at you, just staring at you, going, "Fuck you." And you're walking out, and just it was the experience.
United going to win that, mate, or is it going to be another draw?
Where's it at Leeds as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's at Leeds. Yeah,
better atmosphere though. So 3-1 United.
Okay, and then going back to the Championship, we'll go Cardiff at home to Blackpool.
Oh, Blackpool, my bogey team. Every time I go against Blackpool, they surprise me. But yeah, Cardiff, I've got to kind of against them again. 2-0.
Yeah, I think Cardiff home win easy there. Bristol City at home to Middlesbrough. That's a tough one.
Middlesbrough 1-0.
Yeah, I think Middlesbrough would pick that up. I want to have a look at then the relegation teams. So you've got where are we? So you got Peterborough playing Derby at Derby. What an important game that is.
Peterborough at Derby.
At Derby. That is a 6-pointer if ever.
If Derby won that, they'd go above Peterborough.
Absolutely incredible.
If Derby won that, they'll go above Peterborough, and they'll be 2 points behind Reading. Who do Reading have? Reading have Preston North End away. It's not.
How mad is that after a 22-point deduction? Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Where would they be in the league? 21?
Yeah, I think we worked it out the other week, didn't we? They'd be somewhere I think it was 11th or something.
15th, 14th, yeah.
But also, if they weren't, if they hadn't had the deduction, would they be in administration, and then they could sign players, and there's all sorts of impacts in there. Barnsley are playing Coventry at Coventry. That's a really tough game for Barnsley. Do not see them getting anything at Coventry as either. So, unfortunately for Barnsley, I think that's another loss. Would you go along with that thinking?
Yeah, definitely. And Hull City, Hull City
getting dragged in.
QPR away. So
yeah, QPR been in exceptional form this season. I'd say QPR all day. And then the final one is obviously Reading. Like Reading and Hull are just getting pegged back more and more, aren't they? So they're just getting dragged into
looking in the week, and Bristol City against Coventry, Hull City versus Barnsley.
Some big games, isn't it?
Yeah, and then on the Wednesday, Derby versus Millwall, Peterborough getting at Fulham. She's not going to get any wins there. So, yeah. All the teams
Craig says Derby will smash Peterborough because Peterborough were terrible. So, they weren't very good against United, in fairness. Craig said, can Dan James play against United? Yeah, they signed Dan James, didn't they? They didn't loan him. So if you sign, you can't stop him playing, can you?
No.
So
if they don't know how to deal with Dan James by now,
well, he's pace.
That's
all he's
just open the gate and just open the gate for him.
You'd think, mate, the way that some of those defenders have been playing, wouldn't fancy him to
cause them if they don't deal with it right, it'll cause problems because he's quick. So
yeah, he's lightning, mate, isn't he? So
he's like early on, forearm in the throat, something like that. Slow him down a bit.
Just slow him down, innit? I saw someone in the chat mention David Platt, and it got me thinking. David Platt, mate, at his peak, at his pomp, how good do you think he was? Obviously, he started at United, didn't he? Before he didn't really, only played a couple of games. I don't know. So I just saw it in the chat. Someone mentioned him. So
David Platt are the equivalent now, I would say. So he went to Italy.
Yeah, he played for Bari, Juventus, Sampdoria.
No. See, I'm the equivalent of now. I don't want to be too. I want to say Dele Alli and Jesse Lingard, but they're not playing, so I can't really. But
I thought he was better than that, mate. Honestly, I got to say, I thought he was better than both of them. He had 62 England caps, 27 goals. Like, he had something about him. I didn't realise he spent like a bit of time at United. It was his youth career, 3 years.
He was there when he was a kid.
Yeah, and then he moved to Crewe.
I'm trying to think of someone. He was good in the air. He obviously went some time at Arsenal as well. He's probably a little bit before my time, but I didn't see anything that was great. He went to Arsenal, but he was always on the bench. So,
but you were about
the England side.
You were about 20, mate, in the 90s.
On the England side, he was always on the bench. Yes, he scored that brilliant goal for Belgium.
That volley, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it was unbelievable, that goal.
He scored nearly a goal every other game for England, like 27 and 62.
Come on! It's not like it was now. You're playing people who works in a kebab shop.
Yeah, like it was like builders and all sorts, wasn't it?
Trap teams you'll beat like 1-2-0. They were playing.
Well, he played from 89 to 96. So like,
he was a good player. He was a good player,
but just maybe not a top player. You reckon?
No, mate. If he was a top player, why would he be sat on the bench for Arsenal? That was more or less coming to. He was what, 29, 30?
Yeah, it was like the end of his career. He went to Forest for the last 2 seasons, but yeah, he had 88 games for Arsenal, 13 goals. I mean, it's not electric, but it's not, it's all right, isn't it?
Like I say, most of them were on the bench, mate. We've had Petit, Vieira, Parla, Pires. He had no chance.
Yeah, his best spell in terms of club
his
football.
His best spell for me was Sampdoria.
Crewe and Villa, he's got the best stats.
I think Sampdoria.
55. Yeah, it's 55 games, 17 goals. And like
Because
as a manager,
Barry was it Barry as well?
yeah, Barry did 29 games, 11 goals. Like he
Because
scored goals wherever he went.
Back in them days, we'd get a lot of Italy football. Back in them days,
Lazio.
Italy was the place to be where the money was. So
yeah,
that's where all the players were going. So all our top players were playing, and we get it. You used to play it on Channel 4.
Yes, Channel 4, mate. I was going to say, you said it was a bit before your time, but you were about 20 in the 90s, weren't you?
Yeah. Well, 93, I left school. I'm 92. I left early.
Little nibble. Oh, David Platt. What a blast from the past. Yeah, he went into management. He managed Sampdoria for a season, player manager at Nottingham Forest, England under 21. He did 4 years as England under 21s manager. I didn't know that.
He was Mancini's number 2 as well.
Yeah, he was there as like first team coach for 2 years, and then he was co-assistant for.
No, he was a steady player, but you know.
And then he was manager of Poon City. Where's that?
India. There was no Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes, Brian Robson, Paul Gascoigne. You know, he's not in that ilk.
Interesting. A few people say he, he was very, very good. People disagree with you, mate. But
no, I'm not saying he was.
I'm not saying he was. He wasn't Fred levels.
Yes, he was very good, but he was not on the players that I've just mentioned.
Yeah. Leslie said QPR, mate. I didn't say they've been in good form recently. I said they've been in good form this season. Yes, I know they lost in the midweek, but generally they've had a good season, which is what I said.
Come on, do your research. Come on.
Don't start correcting me. I get enough wrong. Don't need to correct stuff I get right. David Platt. What a blast from the past.
Who was that? Who said that?
About what? David Platt?
No, about QPR.
Oh, Leslie.
Leslie, don't worry. I'll make sure he does research.
Piss off.
Was that nibble?
Unprofessional.
Donna
says, have you met Gaza, Rhodri?
Gaza. I met Gaza. I did meet Gaza. Testimonial at Old Trafford. Yeah. He just finished the game. Just finished the game. Come up to the suite where we were sat. Fags down on the table. You can smoke in them days. Fags, red wine.
Yes. Nice. Sounds like that's the sort of thing I would do when I was playing for a pub team. Red wine.
Can't remember which testimony it was.
What a player!
I can't remember. Eric played in it as well. Can't remember which one it was.
Gaza is just one of them players, mate. It was if somebody could have got hold of him, he could have been an all-time great.
He should never gone to London. Should have
gone to United, mate. When Fergie wanted him, didn't he? Yeah. Did Fergie want him?
Yeah, it was a done deal. More or less done deal, and he's gone on holiday. And he didn't have got a finger because they bought his mum an house or. But
someone got in his ear, didn't
he? I not heard what he said. He started saying, "Oh, well, Dad, they might buy you an house." And his mum said, "Oh, I'll buy him and one. Might buy me one." Something along them lines, or can you get us a TV, or can you get us this as well? Then,
yeah. So, someone must have got in his ear, mustn't they? Like over the holiday, because I read Fergie's first book.
Terry Venables got in his ear.
Yeah,
and offered him an house for his mum and a car for his dad and everything. And Gaza, wasn't the brightest. All right, yeah, sweet. Didn't look at the bigger picture. Ended up going to London and won an FA Cup, and that's it.
Imagine Fergie had done what he did with Ryan, like when Ryan was 17, 18, no interviews, no nothing, just concentrate on playing football, protected him completely. Imagine if Fergie had been able to do that with Gaza at like 21, 22, and through his career. How different would his career have been?
You say that, but I think they're different animals.
Yeah, I think Gaza's a bit more of a wild one, isn't he? Like off the pitch. Party
got an
animal,
illness. He's an illness. No,
yeah, of course he is. Yeah,
alcohol addiction. It's an illness. Some people have got it, some haven't. Fortunate for me, I could take it or leave it.
And
And
you know,
yeah,
so we had. So I forget who it was. We had an ex-Middlesbrough player on. Leslie just reminded me. When Gaza played for Middlesbrough, he pinched the team bus and crashed it with the players on. This is legendary. I wish I could remember.
He's that was at the training ground. I've heard that story before. I'm pretty sure Brian Robson was manager.
Donna says, why wasn't Ryan allowed to do interviews? It was only in his early days, wasn't it? Like when he was 17.
Yeah, it was just forget everything else, concentrate on your football, and you don't need to do anything else. That's it. And it worked, because there was the Premier League just started. It was all, glitz and glamour.
Yeah.
Curly hair, the stuff and all the stuff that goes with it. So, and no interviews. But then when you started doing interviews, you bet you wish you hadn't. But yeah, you get better as you go on, don't you? It's like when doing it, everything was. So you just needle a bit once you know it's a nerve. Yeah.
There we go.
Every time you speak, what?
Reese says Fergie wouldn't have saved him. Look at Ravel Morrison, and then Craig sort of added in. He said Fergie didn't do it.
Ravel Morrison
control Cantona either.
No. You're talking about Eric Cantona, who draws paintings and writes poems, to Ravel Morrison, who knocks about with drug dealers and gun riders. So it's a totally different
world, isn't it?
Yeah, one's French and extravagant. One's mate, who you looking at? I'll shoot you. That's his mates. So yeah.
It's there's only so much.
Mate, what are you looking at? I'll shoot you. That was his circle.
And at the end of the day, there's only so much Fergie can do with those players. And
it's just
you can't do everything for them. What about
these are mavericks. I don't think our kids are maverick. No. Ravel Morrison, he does didn't care.
Does unbelievable things as well.
Ryan was scared of Fergie. He was like, he'll do stuff, but he was scared. They didn't give a shit. They just didn't do anything they want.
Interesting. Claire asked, have you ever met Vinnie Jones?
Yes, I've met Vinnie Jones.
What's he like? I've heard he's all right, actually.
I met Vinnie Jones. I met Vinnie Jones on the Stamford.
Welsh captain.
Please stop. I met Vinnie Jones on Stamford Bridge on a Celebrity Soccer 6. And the only reason why I was playing in that, because I had my friend who I grew up with, the band Blue. The band Blue.
Yeah.
I grew up with Simon, the black fella.
Yeah, okay.
So, and he was playing and he asked me to play on his team. So, yeah.
So, did Vinnie Jones try and snap you into?
No.
In fairness, I've heard that he is a really, really sound guy. Like,
it's a charity game. Yes, he do stuff on a football pitch and
charity.
He was.
Who would get sent off in a charity game? Come on.
I don't know.
Throw a pen at the ref.
The pen was a good shot though. What's his name? Michael Van Beveren would have been.
Yeah, beautiful.
Very pleased. It was like a Jockey Wilson's throw as well.
Excellent. Just like
that.
Right. Guys and girls, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. Appreciate you all joining us. Excuse me, dying. We'll be back.
Pray for Simon on the weekend that we didn't lose another, 12, 14 points.
Pray for my predictions.
If anyone can help him out there, give him some predictions.
Mate, it's £1 million giveaway this week if you get full house. I'm going for the full house. million quid. You won't be laughing.
Well, actually,
then.
got every single one. You've done that before, though. You got the week before me. You got every single one right, didn't you? Well, I did this time.
And I got done, didn't I, by the 2 late goals, and I would have ended up with, I think, 4 out of, or 3 out of 5.
Goals, my 2 late goals give me 10 points.
Yeah. When you cling, why are you clinging on for late goals? Come on, just do the research, get the predictions properly, and then it won't be a problem. Check out the Gavin Gwynn interview tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Fight show Sunday with Welsh boxer Chris Jenkins.
Big fight, Brook, Manchester. I'll be there.
There you go. And what else we got? Loads of stuff. Check it out. See you soon. Nice one.